to my channel. Today I'm actually doing my first story for 2026. It's going to be total drama, and this is called Total Drama. Duncan gets sent to Africa. It is so funny. I can't wait to read this. But firstly, I don't know if you watched my Cornwall farm vlog, and you probably saw behind the scenes about 9 News. It actually happened. I was in 9 News 2 days ago. It was great. So I hope you saw it and stuff. So yeah, let's get started with today's story of Duncan gets sent to Africa. It was normal, and by normal I mean totally weird. Morning at Chris and Chef's house. They were both sitting at the dinner table, staring at each other, thinking of what crazy thing to do next. Chris tapped his chin and said, who should we do this time? Gwen, Jeff, Owen, Sadie, and Katie? Then his eyes went wide. Even better, how about Duncan? Chef didn't hear him at first because he was too busy picking his nose. Chris shouted again. I said, how about Duncan? This time Chef froze his finger still in his nose and slowly grinned. That's a great idea, Chef said with an evil smile. Let's do it to Duncan. Chris stood up, decided, I got a perfect plan. Let's tie up Duncan in a box, give him no food, just apple juice, and send him to Africa like we didn't back in War Tour. Both of them started laughing so hard they nearly give themselves hectic. Later that night, Chris ran to his office, sat at his computer, and typed up a message to Duncan's parents. Hey, tomorrow we are going to tie Duncan up into a box, give him apple juice, and send him to Africa. Pretend we are the post office. Don't worry, it's for TV rating. 2 hours later, he got a surprise. Yes, please. Do it to Duncan, being locked in his room for 2 weeks. Blasting loud music all day and night. We won't be home, so sneak him out the front. Chris showed the message to Chef, and both started cracking up again. They started planning anything for tomorrow. The next day, at Duncan's house, he was home alone, blasting super loud rock music through his speaker. He was nodding his head, yelling the lyrics, and pretending to play air guitar. Outside, a weird unmarked van parks quietly in the driveway. Chef steps out wearing a fake post office uniform and a long, totally fake mustache that looks like something from a dollar store. He rings the doorbell. Ding dong. Inside, Duncan groaned. But who's ringing the doorbell while I am jamming? He stomped downstairs, still in his socks, and opens the door. There stood the postman, but it was really Chef in disguise, holding a giant box. Duncan smiled. Oh, sweet. My guitar from garage band finally arrived. Chef nodded and said in a fake mailman voice, yes, it has. Then, without warning, Chef grabs Duncan, lifts him up, and as he did, one of Duncan's shoes flew off and hit the door frame. Hey, what the? Duncan yells, but before he could finish, Chef threw him into the box, taped it up, and tossed it into the van. Chris popped out from the front seat and said, good job, Chef. Duncan totally observes this. They both got in, drove back to Chris's house, and loaded the box into a helicopter. Welcome to Africa. After hours of flying, they finally reached Africa. Chef opens the helicopter door, pick up the box, and you eat Duncan right out of it. Ah, screamed Duncan as he flew down through the sky, spinning like a frisbee. He looked up mid-air and saw Chris in the helicopter window laughing. Chris was crying. Why am I back in total drama again? Duncan yells. Chris just grinned and shouted through a megaphone. Because it's funny. Duncan landed with a thud right on top of a giraffe head. The giraffe looks totally confused. Then Chris and Chef landed the helicopter beside him. Chris jumped out and said, Duncan, we are going to ride this elephant while we chase you, and you have to sing while we do it. Duncan laughs. You are joking, right? Chris smiles. No, Duncan starts running. You are not joking. As he runs, he started singing the most random songs ever. Why am I in Africa with no shoes and no snacks? Chris and Chef are chasing me. Suddenly fax me back. Chef and Chris burst out laughing while riding the elephant after him. They chased Duncan all across the savannah into the sun rise down. And that, my friend, was another day of total drama, chaos, the end. Hope you enjoyed the story. It was so funny how they sent him to Africa by a box. What was I thinking? And I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to see my next video, because this is going to, for the next part, there's going to be a second part of the story. So yeah, what happens next and what happens when he's in Africa still. And yeah, I will see you all the next video. Bye bye.